Noise though. What's it? No. Yep.
It's probably you. Hello.
What's up?
We're back.
Hello,
Live
guys.
show. Hey there, Sonny. What up?
Yeah, all good here. All good here.
Boys, we're back. We're going live again. Weekly news show. This is awesome. I'm loving it.
So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to run through some of the biggest headlines of the week. Things we're interested in talking about. Maybe we'll share some screens and share some videos. But we're going to try to stick to a timeline here. 3 minutes. That's it. On to the next topic. Okay.
Shoot. Let's hit it.
All right. We got some FINA news here. First and foremost, World Short Course Championships are getting a pay raise. They're increasing it by $2.8 million. So individual events have increased by 50%.
Wow.
This is from the newly elected FINA president, Hussein Al Musallam, who's basically said his focus is to try to bring more money into the athletes' hands. So certainly it's a short course meet. We don't see the participation that we normally do, but your thoughts on paying the athletes more money?
Sonny, go for it.
I mean, that's exactly what we want, right? Hopefully ISL have, given FINA a little bit of a kick up the arse, and we're pushing towards everyone getting a bit more money. I personally love this because I love short course swimming. It's big over in the UK. I know in America you have yards, which is huge, and you don't really touch the short course meters, but the Americans are great when they do it because of how good they are at yards, and there's a great transfer there. So I'm really excited for hopefully, quite a big bunch of athletes coming to do this meet, and obviously getting paid more, which is the end goal that we want. We want athletes getting paid more.
So when is it exactly, and what are the new prize money fees here? What are we getting?
It looks like we're in Dubai.
In Dubai, right? Is it December?
Not really breaking it down. It's just a total of $2.8 million, which is an increase of 50%. So it used to be there was $1.4 million on the line, and now it's doubled. The other thing is, if you break a world record, you get $50,000.
Wow. Okay. Now, is this in December?
This is in December.
Yeah, 16th to the 21st. Abu Dhabi, 16th to 21st.
Weren't you just there, Sonny?
I was in Dubai. I've never actually been to Abu Dhabi. I was in Dubai for 4 months this year.
It's like 2 hours down the road or something.
Literally like 45 minutes. It's just to get in, you had to have like 27 COVID tests and all that, so we didn't bother going.
Well, that makes sense.
So this is hang on. In terms of does this clash with the ISL? I know that the semifinals and finals are going to be somewhere around there. I thought too, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd like to think ISL have known the dates of this and they won't purposely put them together. I'd like to think, but who knows? Maybe they've done a little bit of a power move and put it on the same dates for the final. But I think the final will be a little bit earlier.
Yeah, no, I think the final's January. That's what I think. But maybe the semifinals are pushed up. And look, what does this mean for the athletes? Bottom line, we're out of time here, but the athletes are going to be doing a lot of swimming and winning a lot of money, I guess, if they want to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's the ISL says the finale for season 3 is still in December. It's still to be determined. I think they need to find a country that everyone can get into easily, obviously with COVID restrictions, that sort of thing. So that's going to be a big part of it. I assume that they have listened to both sides and they know the ISL is not going anywhere, at least for right now. So they probably will not clash on the same schedule, I would assume. The other big news is FINA is also going to donate a boatload of money to Africa to try to increase swimming in Africa.
Okay.
$29 million over the next 4 years. One of the investments is an elite training center in Tunisia. Obviously, Ahmed Hafnawi.
Boom.
as Matthew DeGeorge wrote in his article, is a beacon of promise for the continent. FINA has also identified Senegal and 2 universities in South Africa for elite training bases, as well as other new establishments in Hungary and Russia. So some FINA news there. Hopefully I always thought like FINA should do what FIFA did for soccer. And that's basically they just went around and built soccer fields everywhere. Obviously a little bit more cost different in terms of building a swimming pool versus swimming soccer field, but you could do that with drowning prevention. I mean, if you lay out the basis in a country and you focus on water safety and building up that essentially into a countrywide swimming lesson program, I think that's the way you should go about doing it. Building the base from the ground up. That's just me.
Well, listen, it's one thing to build the infrastructure; it's another to maintain it, as we've seen in Rio. Look what happened there when they built the Olympic facilities. They just went to waste after the Olympics. So, hopefully, they can do this the right way: build the infrastructure, support it, sustain it, manage it properly, and get, like you said, get people swimming, get them in pools, get the learn to swim programs up and running. So sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, anytime FINA's opening up their pocketbooks, they have over $100 million in the bank. So, drowning's a pretty big deal. 500,000 kids drown every year. They should certainly be doing something about it. Okay, moving on. We're way over time, but this one will be kind of short because basically, Tatiana, show and maker. There was a bunch of talk like, "Hey, they're not going to pay out the bonuses. South Africa doesn't got the money. They're not going to pay you." And boom, it was like a hellfire storm across everywhere, social media, all the news outlets. I'm sure in South Africa it was on the cover of every single major sports news page. They have now kind of rescinded that and said, don't worry, we're going to find the money. We're going to get you paid. So
right.
Doing the right thing immediately once that bad press train started. But your thoughts on number one athlete in all of South Africa.
The excuse was just terrible. Like their excuse was, if we get more gold medals at the Paralympics, we can't pay all them as well. Like that was literally their excuse. It was like, in case more people win, we can't pay Tatiana because then we have to pay everyone.
Yeah, it is just some lip service. That's what happens when you get thrown to the press immediately without a real answer. I think.
It wasn't like they had 10 gold medalists. They had one. I mean, like the promise was to pay a gold medalist for the prize, and she got it. I mean, they haven't won an individual gold. Did they win one in Rio? South Africa?
Not in the pool. Not in the pool. I don't know about other sports, but not in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so they've had a while to save up their money for this one, so let's pay the girl.
Yeah, come on, world record holder. I mean, I feel like we've had Adrian on here, we've had Roland on here. We know the kind of predicament that South African swimming's been in for a little while now, but it's at least they hurried up, they fixed the problem and said, hey, we're going to pay her. So moving on, good. Pay the lady.
What is this topic? Greg
Meehan. This might be the big one. All right. If you guys haven't been paying attention, it seems like Stanford and the head coach, Greg Meehan, have been getting some flack. Certainly on one podcast from our friend Chris DeSantis, who entitled the podcast, If You're Greg Meehan, Please Don't Listen to This. But it's also in the Swim Swam comments. It's on the Facebook page. People are basically just saying, hey, look, Katie Ledecky hadn't got a best time in years. Simone Manuel's overtrained. And the Stanford showing at Olympic trials was not good. So a lot of people are saying it's time for Stanford to move on from Greg Meehan. Your thoughts?
Well, I'll start this one. That's crazy talk. First of all, I believe Stanford topped the medal tally for any college at the Olympics. So let's just go there. I mean, just because Katie Ledecky got beat doesn't mean that it was a bad Olympics for her. I mean, she got beat by somebody that just purely outswam her and had to basically swim almost world record times to beat her. And then she came back and won her own individual gold medals. So listen, Katie Ledecky swam really well at this Olympics, I thought, especially based on the fact that she wasn't fully rested at the trials. But apart from that, look, Greg Meehan did an incredible job of keeping her composed, getting her the medals that she needed to win. Look, I'm not sure what's going on with Simone Manuel. She's had success in the past. It's very difficult to continue that success at the top like that. She's obviously had her own issues during this period, just like many other top-level athletes during COVID. It was a very difficult situation to manage. And, I'm sure he was no different. So, look, I think Greg's an incredible coach. He's been on this podcast. He's been willing to share. He's been open with us. I'm a big fan of Greg Meehan. You're going to be very hard-pressed to find anybody that's better suited for that job than him. So good luck if you want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think just a coach is an easy scapegoat for anything. And when Stanford are smashing NCAAs, winning back-to-back titles a few years ago on the women's side, everyone loves Greg. And, maybe it's not the best performance from Simone. And I think Katie done great. We've said this enough times here. So I think it's gibberish, really. As far as I know, all of Simone Manuel's PBs were done when swimming with Greg as well. And when you've got athletes of that caliber, you can't just rinse and repeat the same tried and tested program year in, year out. You've got to try and reinvent. Ledecky's had the 1500 added to her lineup. She's got a debate about whether doing the 100 relay and the 200s, and is she going to try and win the 200 or the 1500? So you've got to reinvent the program a little bit. And you're not always going to get everything perfect, but I think Katie done great, and I'm sure there's more of Greg's athletes that are doing great out there as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the talk wasn't just on those two major superstars, but just all the recruits that had been coming in that were on junior national teams that ultimately didn't make it to the Olympics. But if you go back, which I did, and I looked at all like 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, all the top recruits from the mothership, like the top 25 recruits. And if you look at the list, none of the lists have any Olympians on them, except for Brooke Forty, who swims for Stanford. And I think Taylor Ruck, who swims for Stanford. So I don't know. I think it is really hard to go from being a superstar at 17 in high school and continuing to improve 2% every single year to get to that point. So, I think he's just fine.
Yeah, let's move on.
Olympic ratings. The Tokyo Olympics.
Talk to us. What about these?
They were down 42% from the 2016 games, according to NBC. 42%. I mean, people are basically saying, what's going on with the Olympics? Maybe they're not. Maybe what's wrong, right? Why are we seeing a 42% drop?
Sonny, what do you think?
I can't talk for the American public and NBC. In the UK, the BBC we normally have on the BBC the red button, which gives you like every live sport. So you can sit there all day flicking through table tennis, rowing, athletics, swimming, whatever's on. This year, I think they got like 10% of the footage they normally got. They didn't get much swimming. It was tough. Like, we didn't have the heats live broadcast on any station. You had to get the Discovery Plus package, which was obviously an investment. So I think it's just more difficult to watch some of these sports now. That's at least how the case was in the UK. And obviously watching the swimming live here was 2:30 a.m., which you have to be bonkers or committed to do.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, there wasn't a lot of build up to this one. It was almost like Olympics, Here's a swimmer. Here's an event. Boom. Next. I mean, it seemed like it was very difficult for everybody to promote this properly. It didn't seem like journalists were able to, like the amount of journalists were able to get there, the amount of stories, backstories they were able to do beforehand was limited. I think a lot of people were just not sure whether, this was going to happen. And then there was all the restrictions in bringing it to the public. So much more difficult, but Retta says here in the comments section, time difference, for sure. I mean, morning finals. I don't know. Who knows? But
I think the biggest thing is
it is an interesting topic.
There.
What do you think?
There's just not people there, right? Think about how many people would have been at the games. Let's just say COVID didn't happen at all. 50,000, 100,000, 250,000. I mean, it's crazy how many people are there. Then you have every single person on their phone, and now they're tweeting about it. Now they're putting a video on Facebook about it. Now they're out at the restaurant and they're watching it. Now they're at the bar watching it. Now they're at the after party. I mean, all that is gone. All that has been eliminated. And the only thing that you can basically watch or be a part of is the stream at whatever time it is, and you got to go and figure that out. And yeah, I mean, even for us, like I think a lot of people were kind of complaining, and it's 9:30 before we even get started, and these people, most of these swim coaches, they got to get up at 4 o'clock. They just couldn't do it. They couldn't stay up till midnight every single night like we could. But yeah, I think it's going to be back if as long as COVID goes bye-bye and the next Paris Olympics, there's hundreds of thousands of human beings sharing in each and every Olympic moment. I think it'll be fine again.
Well, that's the other thing. We're only 3 years away from the next one. We're in Paris. I mean, Paris is going to be epic. Who does not want to go to Paris and enjoy that one? So, I appreciate this comment here, by the way. Brett is looking older. You're right. I mean, it's I'm in California right now, so it's real early in the morning for me. I went to a baseball game last night. I went to my first pro baseball game last night and watched the San Diego Padres. It was a lot of fun, but I'm feeling it this morning. Got to wake up.
Get that coffee in your butt.
What's the next one?
Bowley and Cusack. Just, if you missed the Michael Bowl interview, which many of you didn't, it seemed like it's still being watched, by a boatload of people. But we got Simon Cusack on tomorrow. You're the one who interviewed him. What did you talk to Simon about while he's sitting there in Darwin doing nothing, twiddling his thumbs?
Look, first of all, I apologize for the Bowley podcast in terms of the quality of it. We had some internet issues, and so I just looked. You always debate whether you want to put it out, but the content was so good and so current and so valuable. I put it out. The Simon Cusack one that's coming out tomorrow, I promise you the quality is first class. No internet issues at all. He's amazing. He talks in detail about raising these two young girls, the Campbell sisters, from the age of 7 and 9, all the way up to Olympic champions, world record holders. It's an incredible story. He goes into great detail about his program, just just like Bowley did. These Australian coaches are really willing to share, and I think that's where they're seeing success right now. Is that they're opening their programs to each other first of all, and saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Let's get together. Let's share ideas. Let's share workouts. These are things that work for certain events." I mean, they're really putting their heads together to come up with the best possible team they can get. Even if it's at the detriment of one of their own athletes, it's like, let's put the best Australian team forward. And that mentality and that togetherness is really showing through in the results. I mean, Australia came away with 20 Olympic medals here. Massive achievement.
Crazy.
Sonny, can you speak on in terms of why you think the Brits did so well this time around?
I don't know. I've not seen all the programs, but I think we just got the momentum early on, and we've got some really talented athletes. I definitely see a bit of it to a degree, the collaboration between programs here. I think definitely at the top end, there seems to be a little bit of that. Not as much as I mean, I've seen a clip from the Simon Cusack podcast coming soon, but not to that degree where there's like a super phenomenal swim and all the coaches get round and break it down how that happened. But I definitely see it to a degree. I think there's a smaller, tighter knit community of coaches in the UK, with us being an island compared to Australia and the USA. So I definitely want to see more of that, and I think definitely social media and things like your podcast, Brett, is allowing more coaches, young coaches like myself, to be able to get insight into what is going on at the top level and everywhere in between.
I actually got this clip already loaded up, so let's give the audience a little taste of what they're going to see from Simon tomorrow. This was like what we just talked about, is like sharing knowledge. This is how far Swimming Australia has gone to do that.
A few countries in the world understand how to get a woman to swim 53. It seems like Australia is the only country in the world that's figured out how to get multiple women to swim 52. What is it that you guys are doing down there that is so different to the rest of the world right now?
I think knowledge sharing is a big key. One thing I've tried to do with running the women's sprint at the national event camp is use sets that I see as being key for preparation, and then use those within that training week. So those assistant coaches and coaches of other athletes within that group can see and understand how those set design evolved and came about to start with. I've never been one to hide what I was doing. I don't believe in secrets. I think, if you think you got secrets, good luck to you. You probably think you're a guru as well. But I think one of the things we've done in Australia is very much, all that information then is disseminated out through all coaches involved at that level. So for instance, Michael Bowl can have access to what I was doing. I can have access to what Dean Boxall's doing with Ariane Titmus, and Vince Rowley can have access to other programs, and we can have access to what he's done with Zach Stubblety Cook. So I think that's a great strength in Australia. We're very much recognise that we have a limited population, we have a limited talent pool, and we really have to try and get the most out of what we're working with.
Awesome stuff, eh?
Hey there, Simon.
Yep. Okay. All right. Simon Jones, thanks for watching again, mate. Glad we could help your little quarantine go fast there. Let's move on.
We got Bo Becker on the show today.
Just
so if you missed that one, tune in, listen to Bo. He's got a great story.
Yeah, we just put out a podcast on Bo Becker. Definitely not one you want to skip over. I think his story is incredible. I mean, this kid had he quit swimming. I mean, really, he was out of the game about 18 months before the Olympic trials. He was done for 6 months. He was just sitting on the couch, eating, drinking beer, watching sports, for a variety of reasons. But he was out. Got a phone call to kind of jump back into the ISL, and that kickstarted his career again. And here we are, 12 months later from that decision. He's an Olympic gold medalist, and swam in the night. Gave the touch to Caleb Dressel to finish that relay. No, was it Zach Apple who finished the relay, or Caleb in that 4x1 free?
Dressel let it off.
Dressel led off, and Zach finished it up.
Yep.
Yeah. So Olympic gold medalist. Great story. Had some hardships throughout his life with some things that he's had to deal with. So definitely get on that one. What's your impression of Bo Becker, Sonny? Did you know him before this Olympic trials?
I remember seeing him for the ISL, and I remember what college did he go to? Do you guys remember?
He went to Minnesota.
Minnesota, that was it. Yeah, because he was pretty damn good at that as well. I didn't have a clue about the story until the podcast, though. Hey, that's why I love your show, because I'm not blowing smoke up your ass there or anything like that. But you get to hear about these stories that just no one's ever going to pick up on, unless someone like Caleb Dressel has an extraordinary story, we probably don't hear. And there's so many talented athletes, Olympic champions who, as you said, weren't going to swim. And yeah, he seems like a great guy. And I can't wait surely he's got more in the tank to keep going. I think he split 47-4 in that final. Surely he's got more to give in the coming years if he stays with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear him. Like, he overcame arthritis, which really held him back for a long time. He didn't get to train long course a lot because of the arthritis. He kind of talks a little bit about how like that 6 months or 7 months off was just like the perfect mental reset. He was like completely ready to come back. And I think a lot of people can do that. This is a perfect time to take 2, 3, 4 months off. We got 3 years to the next Olympics. So, it's a great podcast. Listen to it.
Get on it. Right.
All right. Swim of the week. Teagan Odell, 14 years old, from Irvine Nova Aquatics out in California, breaking Missy Franklin's 200 IM national age group record. She went 212.5. 212.5 at 14 years old.
That girl right there went 212.
I can't get over it.
Oh my God. I mean, she would have made the semifinals at the Olympics, wouldn't she?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Her splits 28-7, 32-7, 39-4, 31-6.
I mean, she's not back ending much slower than our boy Michael Andrew, is she? 31-6 on the back end.
Oh, brother.
There's not a weak split there though, is there? She's the full package, like 28 out, 32 on the back. That's pretty bloody awesome. 32 on the backstroke.
Yeah, I think this summer she's been 101 in the 100 back, 102 in the 100 fly, 112 in the 100 breast. I'm not so sure what she swam in the freestyle, but yeah, like you said, I don't think she's got a weak stroke. So Teagan Odell, congrats, swimmer of the week. From Irvine Nova Aquatics, who's, just another legendary program. Few big names come out of there. Aaron Pearsall.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing with USA Swimming, right? Is that it doesn't matter how you think it's going to be. We're going to lose this swimmer. We're going to be down here. Michael Phelps is gone. Like, there's always club programs that are just producing. There's great club coaches out there doing outstanding work, and they're just producing talent after talent. And there's always the next person. There's the next Lydia Jacoby coming through, and this girl's a great example of somebody that's got an incredible future. Sure, colleges are probably all over already. I don't know what is she? Is she even in high school?
Close. Maybe she's starting as a freshman this year. She's got a while.
Wow, crazy.
All right, let's finish it up here. We're just getting close to the 30-minute mark. That's our goal, not to go over 30 minutes. Swimsuit guy.
You know it, Retta.
ISL season 3. You're going to Naples.
Yeah, I've not actually put this anywhere yet. So
breaking news.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
You have got an exclusive. Yeah. I'm going to be out in Naples for the regular season for the first 5 weeks, coaching Energy Standard. So I can't say how stoked I am about that. Like, so stoked, so excited. I'll be coaching alongside James Gibson, Tom Rushton, and John from Fenerbahce in Turkey. We've got a great support team around us outside of that. And I don't need to tell you who's on that Energy Standard team in terms of athletes, like everyone. So yeah, that's going to be such an experience for me. And I can't wait to see what I can learn and hopefully make some great content as well. So,
mate, how did this come about?
There's a few like bits going on. Sorry about I'm back at home. The Wi-Fi here is not great, and I've lowered the resolution, Dax.
Audio's good
Dad.
though.
Dad's watching
What
from the
about Dad?
garden.
Dad's
He's
pumping
literally in
out
the
some.
garden right now. He can't even type. Look at him. 8's happy. But yeah, no, like so my second swimming club, my local swimming club to home right now is Whittam Dolphins. That's where James Gibson swam as a boy. So you know, I've got a connection with James from that degree. And yeah, I guess when I first got my first real coaching gig, I gave him a message, and we've stayed in touch since then. And yeah, I was fortunate enough when I come home from Dubai to swim at UK trials in April. I went via Turkey, where Tom Rushton was coaching Gregor, who had a great Olympics, making the semi-finals, swam multiple Estonian records, and also John, the Fenerbahce coach. I worked with him for a bit. So I think between the three guys, I've got little connections with all of them. And yeah, that's how this has come about, I guess.
It's going to be a great experience, dude. It's exciting to be a part of all those awesome coaches as a young coach coming up. You're going to remember this for your entire career.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Like I know Brett's experienced the ISL in the first season, and yeah, for me, I feel very privileged, very fortunate. I really can't wait, and hopefully, I can bring you guys some insight on this weekly show as well.
Oh yeah, we're going to be tapping into you in that camp for sure, mate. We're going to be getting you on here a lot.
Yeah, we're going to need to
know
know what's going on.
Create a little bit of trouble, get some people at each other, get some drama.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, dude. It's going to be cool to get a video camera on there on deck all the time. So that's it. As the timer wraps up, that's pretty much 30 minutes here. Like Brett said, we're going to try to do this once a week for you guys, run through some of the biggest topics and hash them out with people. So tune in. I guess, like, do we ever tell anybody to subscribe? You got to subscribe, guys. We need to get to 10,000 subs so we can start making some cool t-shirts for you guys.
One last question here. SB, you know it's coming. It's coming. Just be patient.
It's all happening.
It's coming. Trust me.
All right, guys. Thanks for everything. We'll see you on the flip